Hi, I'm Mark. This is Mark's Tech Vlogs on YouTube, and today I'm going to bring you guys a review of the Meross MSS425FHK power strip. Now this is a smart power strip from Meross with 4 USB-A ports. They also do one that can fast charge and has 2 USB-C ports alongside a USB-A port, and I reviewed that a few weeks ago. I'll put a link to that below. Now this particular product is the UK version of their smart power strip and has 4 USB-A ports and 4 power sockets. And this is a smart power strip with built-in surge protection. And with this you can control each of those power sockets separately and those USB ports. When it comes to price, this retails at just over £30, and this makes it really good value. Now I have actually got links below to it on Amazon and also on the Meross website, including a 10% code for using it on the Meross website. Which is cheapest kind of depends on the time of the year and where different promotions are running, so make sure you check out both links to find the best price. And let's start off by talking about design. And really this thing has a design like most power strips out there. It has indicator lights by each socket and then a power button that also has an indicator light on. At one end you've got that power button, and at the other end you've got those 4 USB-A ports. Turning individual sockets on and off is done via the app and can't be done on the device itself, but you can turn all of them off on the device. On the back there's holes for mounting it, and these are designed to allow it to be mounted horizontally or vertically, which is great. Overall this thing just feels really well made. So let's talk about spec. So firstly, those USB ports are up to 4 amps. That means there's basically 20 watts that is shared between them. For users, this means you shouldn't expect fast charging, but actually it's the ideal thing to have by your bed for charging your Kindle and your phone and maybe your watch overnight. Secondly, you've then got those 4 sockets, and these support devices up to 10 amps. And this is also surge protected. And as I've said, you can control these sockets individually and turn them on or off via an app, and also control that group of USB ports. Those USB ports are controlled as a set. It also has built-in overload protection, it is UKCA certified, and it has fire retardant housing. This is great for knowing that this product is safe to use. And then when it comes to connecting, it connects to your home Wi-Fi using a 2.4 GHz network. And then you can check its status and control it when you're away from home using the Meross app, but also using a third-party app of your choice if you've got something acting as a home hub. So I use HomePod Minis as my home hubs and Apple's Home app as my app of choice, and so I can control them remotely using my Apple Home app. It also works with Alexa, Hey Google and Smarthings. Now I've only been using it with Apple and Meross Home because they're the things I use around my house. And then finally it has a nice long cable at 1.8 meters long. So let's talk about setup. And setup is done via the Meross app, and to do it you go into the Meross app and hit the plus in the top. You then go into the surge protectors and find your product. The model number is found on the back of the device and also on the box when you purchased it. You then just follow the on-screen instructions. And as part of this you will also add it to the Apple Home app. Now I actually had some issues in setting this up, and these seem to be due to a variety of reasons. Largely I think it was due to my Wi-Fi network being 5 GHz. What this meant I needed to do was set it up using the non-HomeKit method. This involves connecting to the device's Wi-Fi on your phone. You then give it the details for your home Wi-Fi and set it up like that, and it does appear in the Meross app. I then had to temporarily switch my home Wi-Fi network to 2.4 GHz and then go into Apple Home and add it there. I got this working and now it works fine, but it did take a little bit of debugging. And actually the documents Meross provide for troubleshooting via the app were really helpful. If you've got one and you have an issue setting it up, stick comments below and I'll try and help you out. Once this is set up, this exposes 5 different sockets to your app of choice, whether that's Meross or Apple or whatever. You can control these separately, but out of the box in the Apple Home app they appear as one power strip, and you can click in to see all of the 5 devices. Those 5 devices being the 4 sockets and that group of USB ports. You can rename these individually in the Meross app and in the Apple app, and of course assign it to a room. If you want to in the Apple app as well, you can uncluster them and see them as individual sockets. So let's talk about using this. So once you've got it set up, it is really easy to use. You can turn all of the sockets off at once or individual ones on or off using the Meross app or the Apple Home app. Because it's in the Apple Home app, you can also trigger it with your voice. This means I use Apple's voice assistant, and the device responds really quickly, which is great. And then of course you can also check the status remotely when you're away from home if you want to know if you did actually remember to turn something off or not. And thanks to the out-of-home access via Wi-Fi, you can turn it off if you've forgotten. Where this gets smart, however, is the ability to tie these into different scenes and routines and automations. So in the Meross app, you can set individual sockets or the whole thing to switch off after a certain amount of time. This sort of acts like a timer. You can also set schedules for it to be on between certain times of the day and off at others. In the Apple Home app, you can link it to your existing automations or add it to others. And this is where it gets really useful if you've got other devices around your house. For example, maybe when the last person leaves, you want to turn off certain devices. You can do that. Or maybe you want it to respond to something like a motion sensor. One example for me is I've got a Meross contact sensor attached to my record player, and when I lift the lid up, I want it to turn on my record player and my speakers. It can do that. But because it's using the Apple Home app, it can also turn on some lights as well, which aren't a Meross product. And all of this just works really well. The only thing you might want to know is that it doesn't offer any power monitoring features. Now, this isn't something I'm ever bothered by, even when products do, but it might be something you're looking for. So all in all, what's the verdict? So with a really affordable price offering you 4 USB ports and 4 sockets, this is a really good product. You can control those things individually, you can tie them into automations, you can set timers, and you can basically do whatever you like. Alongside that, it's got all the safety features you want and a cable that is plenty long enough. If you do want to pick one up, I have put some links below. There's an Amazon link below which will go to whichever country you're in, and there's also a link to the Meross store which again does the same thing. There's a voucher code that you can use on the Meross store to get 10% off as well. And all of those links are affiliate links. That means if you use those to make a purchase, I will get a very small amount of what you spend. And that just helps me keep this channel going because this isn't something I do and get paid for. This is something I do for fun, just to share my thoughts and opinions with you guys. If you got any questions, stick them below and I will answer those. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see other videos when they come out. I will see you guys again soon.